Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
Ocala, baby, what makes you look so good? Ocala, baby, what makes you look so good? Why don't you love me like I know you could?
5 minutes after 10 o'clock, it's time for Ocala Magazine Radio. Kelly Hart is in the studio to bring that program to you. Good morning, Kelly. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Nice Friday.
Yes, TGIF.
Yes.
We're happy that it's Friday.
Nice weather. Nice. Just the word Friday just sounds
Just
good.
perfect. Everything is perfect. And I think we have a perfect show today because we're changing gears a little bit. Typically, when I come in and I do the show, we talk about a story or a feature or something along the lines of editorial that is featured in that particular month's Ocala magazine. Mm-hmm. And so this morning I brought Jessie Miller, our creative director, with me. She's been here before, but we wanted to talk specifically about the ad, portion of what goes into Ocala magazine, because so often people kind of just take the ads for granted. They don't really understand why they're advertising or the purpose of advertising or what goes into that. So I thought, what better person than Jessie, because she really organizes and creates from scratch, start to finish, what goes into those ads. So for anybody that is maybe interested in thinking, I don't really know, like, what's the purpose, or why would I advertise in print magazine? In Ocala magazine, Jessie is here to answer those questions.
All right.
So first of all, if anybody wants to call, they can call 622-WOCA and talk to us this morning about that. And so I'll just kind of let Jessie go into a little bit about just advertising in general with Ocala magazine.
Sure. So first of all, just I believe in advertising. So it's like a thing that you have to believe in. And print advertising is still really valid. Even, it's really a mix that all radio and print and, online, everything, and outdoor and everything, all of it is valid still. It's not like, we're not like a little town where you can just put a sign up outside and that's all you need to get business. You have to get the word out. You have to communicate. And so advertising is the way, whether, whatever media it's in. And Ocala magazine is the most gorgeous magazine and the highest quality magazine. And it's absolutely hitting the best readers for that reason, because it's just this gorgeous, interesting magazine. And you have a captive audience once they're looking in that magazine. They're really looking over your ad and spending time on it. It's not one of those like goldfish 7-second attention span online or whatever like that. So, it's a chance to really shine in a beautiful medium and tell your story, whether it's, an advertorial, because we also do some of those where you can pay to get a story told. An advertorial is like, it's advertising, it looks more like editorial. You see it in all magazines, or your ad. And so either way, it's really an opportunity to shine visually and really tell a story that way. You kind of don't have a time limit, obviously, because people will sit there and read it for as long as they're interested in it. So it's definitely a powerful medium, and it's a great way to get your message across to people in a specific way, in a beautiful way.
And I know, I'm just going to kind of play devil's advocate, because I watch what you do, and so I know now what goes into advertising, which I used to not understand it. I used to be the business owner who was trying to decide where I wanted to put my advertising dollars, and sometimes felt like, well, I really don't have the money to do advertising. But if I don't do advertising, I'm not going to have the money. So right. There was always this big debate as the business owner. So now that I've kind of changed hats, I understand better the purpose behind all the different avenues for advertising. But let's just say there's a person that's like, okay, I've got this budget. I want to do an ad with Ocala magazine. Tell that person how there is a concept behind what you do, not just creating some logo or design.
Absolutely. So my personal background is in ad agencies before it was in magazines, and everybody that we have on our team also, like if we have whatever size our team is, supervising that or they're experienced in that. So basically the reason I say that is it's not just like we're going to take your logo and we're going to take your information and your photograph and make it look pretty. It is that, but there's a lot behind it. From school onward, you learn marketing and business. It's the business of getting you business. So yeah, we're going to take your logo and your information, but we're going to talk to you first and find out what your goals are with this ad. What do you want to communicate? What are you wanting to push? Do you have, like your flower shop, do you have a sale on flowers? Is that your thing? Or is it the image of I have the best flowers, I have gorgeous flowers? There's a lot to whatever it is you want to say. Mm-hmm. And we're going to make sure that's communicated and strategize. Like, do you want to do a campaign where a whole bunch of these ads look the same, but we're going to say a different thing each time, but still keep your image out there in the exact same visual way so that people recognize it and so on. And there's, so there's a lot behind it. And then in a very educated fashion, we'll create the ad that would serve that purpose, mm-hmm. hopefully, and really work for you because, you don't want to waste your money. You don't want to just put an ad in there and it's not doing what you want it to do. Right. I've heard people say, well, I didn't get a response out of something, and it might be that, what did you do with your ad? Like, what story did you tell the reader, basically?
Right.
It is a story. It's always a story. You're communicating something. It's not just like, hey, please buy this, but, why or what's mm-hmm. your story? And so you have to tell the right story. And we have that. We have that education, that background, and talent and everything in our art department. To really make the most effective advertising.
And I think you bring up a really good point because, people see our sales team or they might see our writers and they think, okay, they're in sales or they're writing, but there's so much background, really our entire team. I think every person on our team, maybe with the exception of one or two, has owned their own business. Mm-hmm, and mm-hmm. so not only are we maybe selling or writing, or, creating ads, whatever it is that we're doing, we also are business minded. So mm-hmm. I think that it's really fair for our listeners and for our clients to understand that we really have the experience, we have your best interest at heart. So we're not just trying to throw something out there. We want that ad to work for you because we want to maintain your business. And there's a lot of knowledge that goes into that. For example, I think one mistake, and you can disagree or agree with me here, but I think one mistake that a lot of business owners make is they try to cram, they've spent this money on the ad, so they try to cram everything they can into that ad, and
right.
it becomes so overwhelming. I think they lose the concept. So talk a little bit about when you're doing an ad, the really important things that go into that.
Absolutely. That really is a classic mistake that a lot of business owners make, especially, small businesses. And that's where we are. We're in Ocala, and it's not like, your money is really important to you. So you're spending the money on the ad and you want to feel like you've gotten everything in there. But an ad should really engage a reader enough to either walk in your place or pick up the phone to call you or go onto the website to your, and then you get the chance to sell them. All you want to do is, entice them enough to pick up that phone or look on the screen or whatever it is, right? And then you want to give them all the information. So getting their attention is important. And visually, it's visual first. So there's a lot of science and psychology to design. Believe it or not, it's not just about making something pretty. There's certain color combinations that the eye is attracted to. There are certain, just everything has a meaning. And so when we put all of that in there, clean, eye-catching, when you think about the ads that you love the most, and advertising is fun to look at. I mean, commercials are fun to watch. Radio mm-hmm. commercials are funny to listen to. Mm-hmm. And ads can be really fun to look at and memorable. I mean, you think of some national things that are just part of our culture, like Absolute Vodka, for example, different illustration every time, whatever, and it's really fantastic branding. So they can really be fun to look at. So it doesn't have to be a chore and just something like put all of this information in. It can really be an entertainment to your customers, your potential customers, and your current customers. So you should really think of it that way, like some clean, fun message to get them to want to find out more instead of just telling them a whole bunch of stuff.
And you talk about branding, and because I see the ads change every month, and I'm down there, so I'm working with you, and I see all the different changes that come in. I think people don't really understand the power of branding and how important that is. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Your business name, your business logo, your business colors, these are things that people should almost be able to recognize. In fact, there's a board game that me and my friends like to play. I I think it's just called logo or something, and it will show you a portion or part of the logo, and you have to try to guess or remember, or maybe it's the jingle, and you'd be surprised, like, wow, like the ones that are so common because they have branded so appropriately and so successfully. And I know a lot of times people get caught up in the idea of, well, we want to put, all the employees' faces there, or maybe it's every month there's a new holiday, and so we want to really go thick on the holiday stuff, which is all great and it's cute and it's wonderful. But if I remember what you had on your ad versus who you are or what your company is, that can be a problem. So talk a little bit about branding and how that works.
Branding is, I'm just going to say it. It's brainwashing. It's propaganda. It's all of the stuff that we know about from politics or history, or, think of a swastika and you immediately are, emotionally a certain way. And so it's the same thing. I mean, it's symbols in front of you over and over and over that are put with a message, and they want to associate that message with that symbol and everything. So it's your logo and it's your message, and the more times that you repeat that in front of somebody, then that association, whatever mood or emotion you want them to feel, then they're going to. And it really does work, and that's how humans work. It's like a science. It's just not even, debatable. So that's what branding kind of is. It's your image, really. It's sort of a vague term because it isn't the logo itself. It's sort of how people see you or feel about you. It's really an emotion at its core. And again, repetition is what really brings it in. So the more times, it takes something like 7 times for someone to see something before they really internalize it.
Yes.
So it does take repetition. That's why you hear, ads and things over and over either on the radio or you see them or whatever, because that's how it works. And we listen to songs over and over, and then we like them and internalize them. It's how humans work.
Yeah,
so.
It is. And I'm glad you bring that up, because I know there are times where people get really nervous about advertising, and let me do it a month, let me do it 2 months, see how it works. And I'm not in sales, so I'm not out there communicating these types of things, but just as a business owner, like I said myself in the past, and working with the salespeople, it is so important to understand that your advertising is a campaign.
Right.
So, if I bought an ad on WOCA and I said, okay, I'm going to buy this ad, I want you to play it 2 times this month. And then I come back and I say,
it didn't work.
Dang it. What? I only heard it once. I must have missed it once, and it didn't work. No one came in and said, hey, I heard this. But it's the people, you hear, Angie Lewis, you hear Joe Reichel, Damage Control, you hear without even knowing it, you're just hearing it, and you're hearing it over and over. And those are the people that you think of. And it's the same with us. We put out a magazine. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's in doctors' offices and restaurants, and people sit down in lobbies and they're reading through it, and they see your ad, and they're going to notice it, and there's going to be things about it they like, things about it they remember, but they have to see that over and over. Like you say, there's a psychology behind it. They have to see it over and over for it to work.
There are the one-timers that will work sometime, and that's usually like you notice car ads when you're buying a car and you happen to really look directly for a car ad. But if you're not buying a car, which you're not all the time, but the car dealer still wants you to think of them when you're going to be buying one. So you have to get in front of them all the time, whether or not they're in the market for a car right now. And so just because someone didn't call you on your ad doesn't even mean that it didn't work. Actually, they might come later and not even remember why they came in, but it's because you became part of their life, and you came into their home in this magazine or on the radio or wherever it is advertising. And so, so the one-time things can work if the people are right there in that moment looking for that thing that you do. But most of the time, they're not, and so they just, you want to over and over, you want to always be a part of their life so that when they are ready to give you business, they come to you.
Right. And let's talk about ad size, because ads are expensive. There's no way around it. We can't tiptoe around the fact that they are expensive. They are an investment in your own business. They are the face that you're trying to get out to the community. And so there are different sizes. So let's just talk a little bit about sizes for anybody that's interested, that thinks, what if I can't afford a full page? Am I still going to be able to have a successful advertising campaign?
Yeah, you definitely can. And just think about how you read a magazine. So what you're looking at, if smaller ads can really be effective, especially if you put something in there of interest, or you have a visual that's repetitive, it's still going to be seen, it's still going to be effective. Obviously, the bigger ones work better. I mean, because clearly, they get more attention, and it's just, the numbers are there that the bigger ads work better, but the smaller ads do work also. We place them really nicely in between editorials, so that you're like reading and then ads and then reading and then ads. So it's, the reader doesn't just ignore the pages with the fractional ads,
Right.
which is what I'm calling, the smaller ads that take up a fraction of the page, certain fraction, whether it's a quarter page or a half page or whatever that is. So we don't, place a whole bunch of those in a row so that people don't just flip through and ignore them. So, our placement is good, and if they look good and, you repeat it, it can definitely be effective.
Yes. And there is a strategy that goes into that. I don't know if people are even aware, but every month when we get ready to lay something out, we take into consideration our new clients. Where are they going to fit in best to be seen initially that first time that they're in? Left, right side of the pages. We're not going to put two competing clients on the same page against one another. So we're very fair in our layout and where we place. It's very strategic. And so a lot of people maybe they think, well, this fits. It's like a puzzle, which it is. And I get the joy every month of trying to piece the pages together in quarter pages, and we only have so many, and here's a blank spot. But it all works itself out, and it's really important. And so there is strategy that goes into it. Likewise, when you do purchase an ad with Ocala Magazine, there is a process that goes into it. For example, Chris Red is our magazine photographer. He is phenomenal, and he's available to our advertisers. So if you have a product or a showroom or food or whatever it is that you're wanting to advertise, part of that professional photography comes along with your ad. So we can come in and take snapshots and beautiful product, lay it out beautifully. And so talk a little bit about, from start to finish, kind of what comes with advertising.
Yeah, I have to say, this is probably one of the best kept secrets. If you don't know about it, seriously, it is the most amazing deal. When you buy an ad, you've actually only bought the real estate, so to speak, the space in the magazine, the page itself. But at Ocala Magazine, and this isn't true of everyone, it's true of maybe some publications, but you get Chris Red, you get Jesse Miller, you get Kelly Hart, if there's some copy that, or and you're editing them too, you get this award-winning, professional, experienced team, and then and also all of our marketing people and their brainstorming and all of this. So you get this entire ad agency package kind of thing. We're not an ad agency, we're a publication, but we all have the experience of ad agency people and business owners, like you said. So that just comes just right out of the air. You're just getting that for free. You bought the page. Yeah. And because you could supply your ad to us. All you've bought is the page. But if you want us to do it, to put it together, then you get all of that. And that's sort of like this secret thing.
Well, we want to take your concept, because we are working for you. We want to take your concept, and then we want to take it to a new level. For example, one of our new advertisers, our food advertisers, last month, provided an ad, and they had some copy, and it was great. It said what it needed to say. This month, I was able to go back and reword it to where it really shared that experience. It really explained better the food, the experience, Ocala's choice in this and that, and it's so that's where I come in, and it's nice to be able to say, okay, tell me about yourself. Okay, I'm going to retell it to Ocala in the most magnificent way that I can. Right. Jesse's the same. Tell me your concept. What do you want me to show to our readers? And then I'm going to do it in a way that spotlights and highlights it to the best of our ability, which is award winning. So I love to see when clients come in, because we do allow clients to come in and sit down. Jessie has clients that come in and will sit down with her and work through the ads. And I love when they say, what do you think, Jessie? Because I'm thinking, yes, you're a smart business person. You just asked somebody with years of experience and background their advice about an ad that's going to represent your business, versus saying, this has to be the ad, this is what it has to say, this, and we'll do it. But when you say, what do you think, Jessie? It's like, You're a smart
it's
business
opening
person.
the door to an opportunity. I do. We, we often talk about our awards as a magazine. I personally don't. I just sit. I don't talk about mine as a. I have Addie awards that don't get we don't advertise those. Those are me as a person. I have I don't know 25. I have no idea how many I have gotten. Best of show, national, regional, lots of local ones. So anyway, I do know what works in advertising, and it is, if you just let me, it is opening the door to opportunity, to making your ad work a lot better and look a lot better, everything.
Absolutely. And I think if you're in business and you want to start a campaign and you start with Ocala Magazine, you've really invested in other avenues, because, for example, if Jesse lays out an ad for you, it's it's on our website. So now it's on the website too. It's, you can share that on Facebook and on social media, which is free. A lot of people use Facebook is free, so why would I pay for advertising when I can just use Facebook? I agree. Listen, if anybody knows how Facebook works for your business, it's me. I've probably used it to its death when I was in business, and still do today, to just market myself and brand myself. But when you start out with a print ad and you create a concept and you have someone lay it out for you with experience, ad agency experience, now you've kind of got a package as a starting point that you can then share on social media and with your friends, and probably in other publications, and as you so choose. But you've got a strong start versus something that maybe started on Facebook that you've typed up that you're now wanting to try to turn into something phenomenal. So a strong start with Ocala Magazine, of course, is my recommendation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, but I think it was important for us to talk about ads, because when people pick up the magazine, they're looking at them without even realizing it. It's evoking an emotion without even realizing it. They're reading stories, and then they're flipping through and they're seeing ads. And, I've started paying a lot more attention to ads myself whenever I'm reading a publication, as far as placement and what they look like and how they make me feel, because when I'm laying it out, I want to try to lay it out so that it works the best for our clients.
It's all about relevance. It is. I mean, how to make your ad relevant, and you do, and it is a tough job, and we work on that book map, as we call it, the map of what the book is going to come out like later. Very, very carefully, definitely. And it's just to make the ad relevant, to make the story relevant. Everything is, to the reader. The reader is the first, we really have two. The reader and the advertiser are both our clients, so to speak. Yep. And so they both have to be served equally. And finding that balance is what we do.
Yes. And I do encourage our readers, because a lot of times, there are some specific ads where it says mention this ad to get something, to receive something. A lot of our clients do not go that route. They just start with a campaign and they build from that every month. So if you do look through an Ocala magazine and you find a business person that you choose to visit, maybe it's an establishment you choose to eat at, or you go down and you buy a new car because of something you saw in our magazine. If you can think about it, try to tell the person, hey, I saw this ad in Ocala magazine, because I think that bridges a relationship instantaneously. Oh, you're an Ocala magazine reader. I'm an Ocala magazine advertiser.
Absolutely. Ocala, we we're always about supporting each other and our businesses, but and this magazine is also another one of Ocala's, businesses. So support us and support each other. Go and give the advertisers your business and tell them that you saw it in Ocala magazine, and
Absolutely.
The whole town.
That's why we want everyone to listen to WOCA.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
you guys are one of our advertisers, and so we love that relationship with you guys as well. And I want to encourage everybody that the June issue will be out soon. It's our Men of Influence issue. It's phenomenal. I don't want to give anything away as far as who Ocala Magazine has spotlighted as our Men of Influence, because you'll be excited to see it when it comes out. But it's another great issue. We do want you, if you've not seen the May issue, of course, go to www.ocalamagazine.com and check us out online. And please go to our Facebook, Ocala Magazine. Find us, like us. We're always sharing comments and thoughts and questions that you can answer, and you might end up being quoted in the publication. So we just want to thank all of our Ocala Magazine readers and clients, and thank you, Larry, for having us this morning.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Great conversation.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thanks.
All right, we'll be right back.
The rock and roll is gonna suit my soul. I don't care about no rock and jive.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio. I'm Chris Foster. President Obama meets with Veterans Affairs Secretary Eric Shinseki in the White House Oval